Well, ladies and gentlemen, looks like it may just be time. Time to forget it. What's up, guys? That guy with a pencil here. Fun fact, I do open to have it on me and keep it on me at all times. Hey, another fun fact. Nagi. This has been the most... Okay, is that a lie? No, honestly, at least from when I've been in the Bullet community. Notably, I can imagine things were even more chaotic when, like, the U20 game was still happening, and, like, possibly early days of Neo League, I wasn't really involved in the community then. I was still catching up, and I didn't really start reviewing until, like, halfway through Mankind. So, like, I've been in the community for a while, but I haven't been, like, a part of the community and, like, reading and seeing discourse and obviously participating in it by making videos. And this has been, unironically, one of, if not flat out, the most interesting period I've seen discussion-wise. Because there are, like, it's not even, and the funny thing is, though, it's not even two hardline sides. It's like, there's what we all know is going to happen. And then, in that subsect, there's the people who are cool with it, the people who aren't cool with it, and the people who may not be cool with it, but accept it. I think, ultimately, I do stand somewhere in the middle. But then again, though, I'll admit, my perspective has changed more and more to me just being cool with it. And there are a couple reasons why. But before we get into any of this, that was that was one of the quietest draws that ever hit. Why? I mean, like, you know, it's peak literally every week. Whenever Blue Lock drops, you know it's gonna be peak. So I gotta pre-draw. But with that being the case, obviously, I'm talking about Nagi getting locked off. And everyone and they mama. And they mama's mama. And they mama's daddy's mama is like, okay, he's locked off. But he got his own manga, though. And, like, that's the main thing, right? I genuinely think if Nagi did not have his own manga, he didn't have his own version of Blue Lock, which is something that our dude Aragonist didn't get, Butcher didn't get, and our main rival in Rin didn't get. He got a one-shot. That's it. That's all those characters have gotten. Even though Rin could very easily have his own episodes of Nagi-style variant and be interesting to see things from his perspective. Like, that hasn't happened. It doesn't seem like it's ever going to happen. It seems like the one-shot that we got, which came out, I believe, in concert with episode Nagi's movie, was very specifically as much as we're going to get on that. Despite, undeniably, I'd say Rin's a more important character than Nagi in the macro narrative. And I definitely say Bachara is once again, ever since he got his own manga, I would say Nagi has kind of surpassed Bachara, which is crazy, considering Bachara was a dude Aragonist. But that's my thing, right? He has his own manga. We're following his perspective. This chapter's about him, apparently. I've heard everyone, everyone who's told me about the chapter, because I don't know, I feel like it dropped early, to the point where, like, people knew what happened in the chapter, and were like, my friends were like, pencil, get them tissues out, dog. And I was like, what do you mean by that? But, like, still, with that being the case, he's too important to actually lock off. But the question now is longevity. How long are we locking him off? Right? And it got to the point where I made my own video talking about Nagi's lock off. And admittedly, I kind of went into that video with a pretty hardline stance. I put it out there so I could give you my thoughts. But I was like, I don't think I'm going to be convinced. But then a lot of y'all hopped in the comments and were like, hey, Pencil. Nice video, dog. Here's why you're wrong on this, that, and the third. And notably, y'all are cooked. Like, ultimately, there were a couple of main arguments I ended up making in that video that I do think carry over to Nagi, and why a lot of y'all have convinced me that maybe him coming back, either very short term or even in the long term, is still fine. Number one, not just the fact that he has his own manga and that he's a really important character. Yeah, that too. But number one, it's the idea that ultimately things aren't always as permanent in life in general. Right? Like, think about it in the sense that, sure, you usually lose opportunities, but opportunities can either replace themselves and or literally be the same opportunity extended. I can't tell you how many times in my own life there's been, like, a sale on something that was going to end in 3 days, and I was like, well, I should get it, and I was like, whatever, I'm not going to. And then not, like, 3 weeks later, the same sale is back up, or even a better one, right? And of course, that is just me in my regular life, but this even happens to pro soccer players. And not just pro soccer players, so pro sports players who get chance after 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 chance, even if they fail a million times, on the hypothetical that they could succeed again, right? And ultimately, in the grand scheme of things, Nagi got 4 chances. He didn't get infinite chances. So in the world of soccer specifically, And in the world of sports specifically, it's not impossible for a character to get another chance, and for it to make sense within the narrative that Blue Lock is trying to tell. Third thing, the narrative that Blue Lock is trying to tell. One of my biggest points was, like, it doesn't really make sense thematically and, like, macro narrative wise to reward Nagi for failing, right? Ultimately, the difference between Nagi's lock off and Kunigami's lock off is that Kunigami got power clipped. That man just went up against a high tier while he was still a mid tier, and then got viciously dipped for it because he was fighting alongside another mid tier. Like that's what happened. Kunigami went down fighting, and Nagi went down freezing up in fear in front of Utoya. like legitimately, it's kind of embarrassing. And that's after he had the entire team built around him for multiple games. He literally just couldn't find the fire. Meanwhile, Kunigami had the fire, it just wasn't hot enough to burn properly. So Kunigami's return felt more thematically relevant and more thematically appropriate because he never really gave up. And he was only forced into giving up, quote unquote, mainly because he got the taste beat out of his mouth in the wildcard program, which we still don't fully understand. We just know that man went through it. But Nagi? He had all the new Elite League. So I was like, no, it doesn't really make sense to bring him back after this, because he didn't just fumble the bag once. He didn't just fumble the bag twice. He didn't just fumble the bag twice. He fumbled the bag 4 times. Last time against Otoya. Like it was real embarrassing. But, big booty butt cheeks, one of the thing that y'all brought up is ultimately, Blue Lock is a narrative about failing. Recognizing that you failed, and then getting back up anyway. That's the thing. Obviously, look at our main character, Isagi Yoichi. He's the guy a lot of y'all brought up. It was simply the idea that Isagi's fumbled the bag. His whole narrative, and that's why a lot of people were like, "Look at the parallels, Pencil, you fool." And I'll admit, I'm kind of a fool, because if you look at the parallels between Isagi and Nagi, essentially, basically, are two main characters, the main characters of the respective mangas. Isagi's journey starts with him making the exact same mistake Nagi did. So, like, of course, the end of Nagi's journey, while it would be an interesting thematic point to have it mirror the start of Isagi's journey, just means that essentially this is Nagi being born. A rebirth, if you will. Final Fantasy VII Remake rebirth. I'm kidding. I finally caved. I didn't actually end up playing the game. I just don't have the time. So I ended up watching Alexander Xar's, like, 8-hour video. I know you're all gonna be like, I'm sorry, you watched an 8 or like 9-hour video on Final Fantasy VII Remake or Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but don't have time to play the game. Yes, these things do happen. But with it being the case, I've Rebirth on the mind still. I watched that thing like a month ago. But with it being the case, with the thematic parallels to Isagi, and obviously not just Isagi failing and getting another chance, especially in the realm of Blue Lock, it's Isagi, it's Bachira, it's Rin, it's Shido, well, not Shido. Shido, well, I guess you could argue Shido, but not really. Shido, I'll give Shido one thing. That man has never really fumbled a bag. Like, it's, if he loses, it's almost never his fault. And if it is, no, never his fault. Like, every time Shido's lost, it's not that man's fault. It's just either been clipped or in the wrong scenario. So ultimately, a lot of our major characters have fumbled the bag, fallen off, and been reborn. Would this be the hardest fall off into rebirth? Yes, but at the same time, as a lot of y'all pointed out, that may be kind of necessary for the character. The biggest issue with Nagi is that ultimately, he didn't really have something he cared about. As a lot of y'all described, and for some reason just didn't click with me, he was floating through life. He was kind of just living it because he was alive, and he might as well. But ultimately, he didn't really have that passion, and he still didn't have the passion by the end of it all. So ultimately, the only way to essentially wake him up from this dream, as the latest episode Nagi chapter laid out, the whole idea of him dreaming, would be to take him out back, and not like horses where you just boom in the head, boom in the foot, make him really realize, oh no, this is over. And that's why we're seeing him back here. That's why I'm assuming we're following him this chapter, because we're really going to see Nagi actually finally realize what he truly wants. Now that he's finally separated from, literally the opening narrator text is, ooh, my apologies. Morning comes, even to a single student dormitory. For the first time in a while, waking up outside of Blue Lock. This is his first time being separated from that world. And I don't know about y'all, but the first time you lose something that's like defines you, it is weird. Like, I remember when I first graduated from college with my master's, and I was like, oh, school's done. Like that era's just over. Huh. And I just realized I gotta work a 9 to 5 for the rest of my life until I die. Like it don't be a moment where you sit back and you rethink and you contextualize, because for the longest time when you're in something, you don't really think about what that something means until it's over. It's why they always say hindsight is 20/20. Looking back, you realize a lot of things you didn't realize then. And that's the same case for Nagi here, presumably. And ultimately, that fits into Blue Lock's overarching narrative theme work, even if it doesn't seem to, upon first glance. That was just a first glance thought. I didn't think about it too much, because those were my just initial thoughts. And all that being the case, the one thing that has me like, well, I kind of want Nagi gone, is that I would like a serious elimination. And Nagi would be the only serious elimination we've gotten that's relevant to people beyond, like, their 5, okay, being generous, 5 fans, or their copers in the case of Cure. Genuinely, that's a narrative sacrifice worth making. Oh no, Blue Lock doesn't seem that hardcore, whatever. And then, there was something I looked up myself, I didn't see it in the comments, but at least according to what I Googled, you can register 26 players for the World Cup. For the U20 World Cup, I believe it's 26. I know it used to be a lower number, but it actually has risen. So what does that leave? We had top 23 players, interesting, and then we have a 24th, and then presumably so that'd be 25. So there's still even an extra slot on top of that. And Nagi was 24th. So there is that idea that ultimately maybe it was bait. Maybe it was a setup. And top that all off with something that is kind of simultaneously outside the narrative yet inside the narrative. Nagi isn't just a popular character in our world to the point where he has his own manga. I'm sorry, I know I'm like 11 minutes into the video when I haven't even started reading the chapter, but I do want to talk a whole lot more, then I'll probably make another My Thoughts video. Because this is what happens. The reason why the My Thoughts videos are so short, I kind of explained in the first one and then never elaborate on it, is because I want to be more concise. I want to practice being more concise off the cuff, but that's what these reviews are for, allowing me to yap extensively. So I'm going to yap a little bit more. Meta-narratively, and in the narrative, Nagi is very, very popular. Like, the most popular character verbatim. Many people have stopped liking him as much as they used to, your boy included, and some people in the comments. But still, he's one of the most popular characters that the series has produced, to the point where he got his own manga. And thusly, if I had to schmack some meat on it, there's also the latest volume cover, which has Bodhisattva. If you don't know who that is, and I'm not even sure if I'm saying his name correctly, he's the Tanuki guy, the round fella. He's not the FIFA world president in this universe, but he's the guy who works directly under him. And he's all about that money, all about the bangs, all about that bread. And in the latest volume cover, there's on his chain, that all the characters wear in the volume covers, there's a Nagi emblem just floating around there. And if you remember, there was a deal all the way back before the new Eagles League started that Ego had to make in order to make Blue Lock TV. A lot of people, myself included, thought that deal was the idea of Isagi getting on the pitch at all. Because all the way back in the first game in Barca, ultimately it was the idea that no one was going to put him on the field, but Ego specifically was told to put him on the field. And I thought that was the deal. But a lot of people mentioned that was technically never confirmed if that was actually what Bodhisattva wanted. And especially with the popularity of Nagi in universe and out of universe, I wouldn't be shocked if Bodhisattva said, hey, you can do your little silly top 23 system, Ego. I don't care. It'll boost views because people are going to be scared of losing somebody. But if there's someone I want, I have the free, full, capable ability to override you and restore them anyway. And that could happen to Nagi. And that would erase my one other pseudo issue that I would be scared of Nagi getting power creep while he's working in a lower club for the longest time while we're running through the whole U20 World Cup arc. That would erase it because he'd just be back. That can work. Like, it's so not impossible where I'm basically fine with it. Like now there's like nothing that really holds me back because now it works on every level. It works on the character level in terms of waking up Nagi. It works on the meta narrative level in terms of the themes. It works on the little narrative level in terms of like making it all make sense in universe. And there's even hints of build up to it. Not just the fact that he has his own manga, once again, a meta narrative thing, but it's like in universe, I would not be shocked if Nagi was popular enough that the world didn't want to see him just fade into irrelevance for the entire U20 World Cup. So bringing him back as soon as this, like immediately undoing it, it would seem crazy. But I think I'd be okay with it. I think I'd be okay with it mainly because it really, you know what, it depends on how this chapter goes. I think that's will be the next thoughts, my next thoughts, because it seems like we're following Nagi for the chapter. My friends warned me to get out the tissues, so let's not waste any more time. Do I even have any tissues near me? I don't. I do not. Oh wait, I do have tissues. I have tissues right here. Yeah. See, I listen. Sometimes. But yeah, I got tissues right here. But with it being the case, let's not waste more time. Let's hop right into chapter 302. Forget it. Beep. Ugh. Morning comes, even to a single student dormitory. For the first time in a while, waking up outside of Blue Lock. I want to be built like Nagi Gang. Your boy has fabs. fat abs. I want abs. Gosh darn, like, golly. And this fresh in the morning, too. Like, there's no flexion. He's chilling. No, honestly, shout out to Nagi for using a traditional clock. I used to use those, but then I can't wake up to them anymore. I don't know what happened. Now I have to use, like, the most annoying digital alarm sound that'll rouse me from anything. The only time I don't have to do that is if it's, like, if I, like, time my watch and, like, hey, wake me up in, like, an hour. And then it just vibrates, and I think any sort of, like, motion on me is, like, wake up. So that works, but I don't like to wear my watch when I sleep. Heck, I don't even like keeping like any of my devices near me when I sleep because, you know, radiation and stuff like that. So I always put it far away. That's another reason why the alarm has to be so loud, because if it's too far, then I'll just... But let's see. Nagi, look at those dead eyes, bro. Nagi, my boy. But then, and you know what? I in the My Thoughts video and even last review, I was like, I don't really get Nagi. But you know what? I think I do. Well, obviously, I think he says he's going to go back. I won't fully be able to relate to him. But I get the idea of kind of just going back to normal after something's done, right? Like when I ran track and field, I did it for the love of the game. But I think even subconsciously, just like Nagi, I didn't really have any delusions of becoming the fastest man in the world. Like it just wasn't. It didn't seem feasible at all. Could I have trained my hardest and achieved my full potential and maybe done it? Probably not. Probably not. So like, I had that moment where it was like last year track, and I was like, all right, done. I remember the last meet, remember the last practice. I remember just being done, and be like, okay, now back to actual plan for life, fully, instead of dividing some of my attention there. And I haven't run in years. I haven't ran a track race since high school. I've been out of high school for a minute. I am old, so like, I do get that aspect where you kind of. Life doesn't stop moving, even if a part of life stops. I think that's a thing I can relate to Nagi on, where you just gotta move on. But ultimately, the difference is, I think Nagi, he's gonna have to go back, right? Because ultimately, track was something I did for fun on top of everything else I did. I was mainly an academics guy. The reason I didn't do football, despite being a relatively big fella, was because my brain was my main superpower. And I was like, I'm not risking getting concussed or tackled, and they die at like 50. Who knows? I may still die even before that, but I want to up my chances. Gosh darn it. So that was me then. I had it separately, but Nagi had nothing. Like I mentioned earlier, he was treading through life. So I assume Blue Lock is all he has. But let's see. Good morning, Choky. Ow! It hurts. I'm waking up. Right. And I remember there was clarification. I need to go back and read that comment. Thank you for the person who keeps commenting and explaining the light novels to me. I'm gonna sit down and read them one time. I just need to find them, for one. I need to find them, and then I'm gonna read them, because there is a whole bunch of context hidden in the light novels for like a whole bunch of stuff that will be relevant to the narrative in the future. And y'all keep dropping lore, and I appreciate it, because gosh darn it, there's a lot. But I do know that Nagi, he actually is very intelligent. Like he coasts by everything, but he's also in like a very affluent and prestigious private school. Like he is actually built like that. His parents just don't love him. His parents had a kid to have a kid, and there, I believe, I forget if it's they're working all the time or if they're traveling the world. I think it's one of those two. There's a reason Nagi, not just because, you know, he's in a school dorm, but also like he doesn't, like his parent, the reason Choky's his only friend and the only person he has any contact with is because he doesn't really have like a healthy family relationship. Few care, like who in Blue Lock has a healthy relationship with their family? Isagi, Chigiri, Bachira. And by family, I mean like the family members we know, because like we never met Chigiri's dad. That lucky man. We never met Chigiri's dad. We never met I think it's implied that Bachira's dad left. Like unlike Chigiri's dad, where it's like vague, and I don't know if the light novels say anything about that. I'm pretty sure it's just implied that like Bachira doesn't like have a dad. And obviously Isagi just has two healthy, loving parents. But then everyone else, they got some kind of trauma with their parents. Or they just don't exist. Like Lorenzo, parents abandoned him. Hiyori, parents viewed him as a tool and tried to live vicariously through him. Rin's parents, like they seem normal, but like obviously not as like they seem I'll admit Rin's parents seem normal. That's what I'll say. They seem like normal parents. At least from my perspective. Who knows if I'm completely wrong about that. Once again, I haven't actually read the Rin light novels, but I saw apparently Sei's gonna die. Like what did I see? I saw a video like earlier today, and someone was talking about Sei may die, and I'm like, what? And apparently it's something in the light novels that hints towards that. So maybe I need to go back and read the light novels. Well, not maybe, I have to eventually. But yeah, I'm not sure. Like outside of those three, who has healthy? Oh, and I believe Kunigami has a healthy relationship with his parents, and so does Baro. I think they're fine. We just don't hear that much about them in the main narrative. But I do think they are mentioned. We know that Kunigami I believe Kunigami and Baro both have 2 sisters. I'm mixing information. I need to go read the light novels. And I forget what Nico's relationship with his parent is, but I know he has a whole light novel thing too. Let's see. Ugh, it hurts. Ugh, I'm waking up. Yep, right back to high school. Hakuho? Oh yeah, Hakuho High. Oh no, Hakuho High School. Huh? Hey, it's Nagi! Nagi arrived! Wow! You were amazing! I watched it on BLTV! Hey, can I sit here? You did great! That goal's amazing! What about Ryo-kun? Went straight for his ex, huh? That's low, girl. That's low. That's vile. That's vile. You don't even ask how he is. You're like, what about Rayo, though? I know Rayo's very popular with the ladies. That's why they're concerned. And I was, Rayo, he comes from big money. Like the Mikage Corporation is kind of like, they big money. So I get it. I don't want to worry about Rayo, but darn, don't even ask Nagi how he is. But once again, look at that. In universe, obviously, they knew him beforehand, but still, that goal, that they got it, the goal of the century. And once again, I'm gonna, now that the East League is over, you know your boy's making ranking videos. I'm ranking all the matches. I'm gonna do my own personal ranking of all the players, because I disagree with the actual top 23 list. I'm gonna do a ranking of all the goals. I'm probably gonna do individual ranking of all the goals. Your boy's gonna go absolutely buku bonkers with it. But big booty butt cheeks. I got Nagi's goal at 2. I got it. I'm not gonna put any lower than 2. I think literally every other shot falls far beneath. But I can't, and you know what? I've seen arguments for both sides on Kaiser Impact Magnus. I'm leaning towards just a curve shot, yeah, or not, whatever it's called. Like I get why it's so impressive because of the speed of it and the curve and the weight behind. Like I get physics wise why it's so impressive and a lot more complex than the upside down bicycle kick. But it's the upside down bicycle. Like I'm not like what? The man scored between the best defender in Japan's legs on a goalie as he got fouled by flipping on somebody's back. He's like that. That is still my favorite goal in the series, arguably. And it's funny because while it does get hype in the moment, it's a glazed over goal. It's really because the Nagi keeps getting glazed, and I get it why a lot of people have that as their one. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Something about that upside down bicycle game. That's different. But once again, look at all this popularity for Nagi in universe. It's not just them thinking that. And that's the thing, right? Even if, and this goes into the whole idea of Budosatsu having a role to play in Nagi's hypothetical return. Nagi don't just make a whole bunch of money out of life. I believe I'm not sure. I remember seeing some merch numbers. I believe he has literally, he's either the highest or right behind Isagi and Rin. He's up there. He's top 5 in terms of merch sales in our real life. But even in universe, I could definitely see Bodhisattva looking at all this. Even after fumbling the bag horrifically, getting scared by Otoya, he's still getting glazed for that goal. And I could see, just as that one club still saw potential in Nagi, enough to throw some pennies at him, I could see Bodhisattva being that's too much of a moneymaker. Ego, you fool, you fiend. You let Nanase on? Just because of the bit? No. Bring me the white-hand child right now, Ego. I could see it happening so easily. Let's see. You're gonna become a pro? Offer's still on the table, right? Yeah, that's the thing. That's the other main thing. I wouldn't be mad if Nagi was left off for just the World Cup arc. Even if I would kind of prefer he'd be there at this point. Now, once again, I've got to convince y'all got me. That's one of the quickest turnarounds too, because that video came out Sunday. Fun fact about that video though. I could have sworn I scheduled it for 11 p.m. Saturday night. I recorded it on Saturday. And then I woke up expecting to read some comments. It was not posted. It was still private. I was like, but that's a completely different thing aside. But I posted that thing on Sunday. I read through all your comments, got some more comments, and my whole stance is flipped in 3 days. So very impressive work, bro. This is why I say, comment. Trust me, I'm very malleable. My mind will change. I'm stubborn in many cases, but when y'all are cooking, especially on stuff that's subjective, character ranking, stuff like that, I've been convinced by myself on rereads. For example, there's a character from Magi called Hakuryu. If you go back to my old videos about Magi, specifically my ranking of the main cast, I believe I had him at the bottom. I reread Magi 2 years ago, and now he's my favorite character. These things happen. These things, like, my opinion, my initial thoughts on something can 100 billion% be wrong. That's why I do kind of like doing, like, for 4 nights, I like doing the live reaction and then the review. Not just because patrons and members can get the live reaction, but also because it'll help me organize my initial thoughts, my initial fresh reactions, and then I can think a little bit more before I end up recording the main review. But, big, bodacious booty butt cheeks. Comment if there's something that always comment me if I'm wrong. If I say something that's just incorrect, comment and tell me I'm wrong. I want to be better. And the only way I can be better is if I'm correct. So comment there. And if you think I have a wrong opinion or a different opinion, or you have a different opinion than me, let me know. Because my opinions have changed all the time. Wait, does he show up if I just move out the way? Look at these two back here. Wait, let me turn them around. Ah, what was that? But look at these two fellas right here. Gojo and Big Cook. I was the fattest Gojo Glacier you knew outside of Pins himself. But now I'm a Sugano slobber. So like these things, trust me. My opinions are not finite. We'll see. But offer's still on the table, right? Yeah, that's the thing. He can go pro. Oh, sorry, I got distracted on changing opinions and tangents and commenting stuff like that. But that's the thing, right? Nagi's gone from Blue Lock. He can still go play for another club. In the interim, he can do that. He can do that and then just keep going. That's the thing. And that's like the route if we don't want to immediately undo it with like Burasata's meddling. Like that because that's the main thing. It would kind of have to be Burasata. I don't see Ego bringing Nagi back. Especially after the generational crash out he had on live TV over Nagi being a bum. I highly doubt it's going to be Ego's own choice to bring Nagi back. And I don't think Reo or Isagi or Chihiri or Zantetsu or anyone of the players have any influence on bringing Nagi back. It would have to be the P4 World President himself or Bodhisattva, who are still Ego's bosses, being like, hey, bring the kid back. If we can register 1 more player on top of saying whatever, or 2 more. Bring him back right now. Like that kind would have to be the thing for him to come back immediately. But the club arc is still a thing. Once again, I do see, win or lose, right? Because there's still a hot debate. And I still need to make an entire video on it. In fact, I think I may do my thoughts on that one before I do a scripted video, just so I can get it out and then read the comments and see what it goes. Because once again, y'all be influencing me. But I think Blue Lock is gonna go 50 days to World Cup, little mini training arc, then U20 World Cup, win or lose, then club arc, then next World Cup, which will be presumably the final arc of the series, because that'll be Isagi becoming number 1 in the world. So like that's kind of how I see it. Now, of course, if that's 150 chapters, that's still 450 more chapters of Blue Lock, right? Because that'd be 150 chapters each, and that's assuming there's no other mini arcs in between. Once again, I kind of thought we were immediately going to leap to World Cup, but we have 50 days until, and we're following Nagi for a little bit, at least for this chapter. So like, clearly there's still going to be some more time before we actually get to the real World Cup arc, or real U20 World Cup arc. So there's still definitely time. When I say I could easily see Blue Lock hitting like 700 chapters, I ain't joking. It's popular, it's well off, and it has that like narrative structure set up. So Leslie, if we just cut off Nagi for U20 and then bring him back in the club arc, fine. And that's the other way I could see it happening. Especially with the whole idea that even they bring up the offer still on the table. What about Ryo-kun? What about Ryo? Okay, lady. Once, I get it. You know, maybe this is a Ryo Nagi shipper or a Nagi Ryo shipper. Maybe this is why she's so adamant about it. But like, Ryo's still in Blue Lock. Wait, what do you mean? What about Ryo? He's fine. Well, mentally, maybe not, but like he's fine. He's chilling. Let's see. Huh? Pff, forget it. It's all over now. Roll credits already? Huh? But your pro offer. Ugh, forget it. I'm done with soccer. But then again, it's been so long since I've been in a bookstore a bit late, which is bad. Like, that's real embarrassing to it. I have so many books I haven't read yet. I want to, like, get through all the books I own before I end up going and buying more books. I just don't have the room. But at times, I wish I could have, like, a volume of the series I'm covering, so I could just be like, buddy, your name's on the manga. Not this manga, obviously, but, like, you got a manga, bro. You're done with soccer? Yeah, and Goku's gonna stop fighting people. And Luffy's gonna become Marine, right? And Ichigo's gonna give up on being a Soul Reaper, you know? Like, all these things. Naruto, well. But, like, come on now. We're gonna sacrifice the whole point of the fight. Yeah. I know. You done with soccer? Yeah, I see you. Yeah, I get it. You're done with soccer. And I'm done yapping. Forever. Never gonna yap again. Never. I would never yap. Be so for real. Let's see. Your third years, yeah. Your third. Why can I not read? Your third years now. So think about your future carefully. And hey, like that is, and I forget if third year is junior year. I'm not sure if it, because I know the school system is slightly different in Japan, but yeah, like it is that realistically. I remember I ended up choosing my like professional path around 16, mainly because my dad was like, "Hey, what are you gonna do with your life?" And I was like, astrology doesn't pay the bills, and not like the spiritual astrology, like studying the actual universe. Like that's the kind of astrology I was thinking going down. But I was just like, looking up average salaries at the time. I'm like, whew, thank heavens I didn't go down that route. But like that, I was looking at the average salaries at the time. I was like, I'll pursue it as a passion. I don't think I'm actually gonna do that. And then I ended up choosing my real main path around that era because time flies fast. And of course, it's because I'm getting older, but not just me getting older. I look at, like, I now get it. Like, my older family members, and they're like, I remember when you popped out your mama. And I was like, that. And for the longest time, I was like, that's weird. I don't remember anyone popping out of their mama. It must be huffing absolute copium. But then, I saw one of my baby cousins the other day. And I was like, how old are you, kid? He's like, 11. Wait, what? You were born yesterday. What do you mean you were... What do you mean I'm 11 years? Like, it just hits you sometimes. So yeah, I mean, and it's rough, right? You tell somebody, hey, I know you're not even a fifth of the way into your life yet, possibly not even a sixth or a seventh, depending on your lifespan. Figure out what you want to do for the rest of your life until you die right now. Like that's rough to say, but unfortunately, it is kind of just how life works. And I wish I could say that it's like, oh, it's a specific society thing. No, not really. You need to like work to live. Like there's no place unless you are born into wealth, which I mean Nagi seemingly is, but like still, unless you're born into wealth, you got to do something. Money don't grow on trees. Well, it's made of trees, but it don't grow on trees. So like, you always got to do something, and it's rough that it is that way, and it's rough. Like I forget who I was talking to, but someone was like, man, I just can't imagine working a desk job for like the rest of my life and like growing old and then just dying. And I was like, yeah. But unfortunately, that's life. So you gotta live it while you have it. Like people always ask me, hey, Pencil Man, why do you Pencil Man, why do you travel? Pencil Man, why do you do X, Y, Z, and all the third? And I'm like, gotta do it now. Can't wait till I'm free. Because unless some big break happens to your boy, time ain't a-waiting. My knees be hurting now. And I'm old. I ain't that old. I'm not to the point where my knees are hurting, but I just have bad knees by the way. So like, I gotta live life now. Even if that is at the cost of things or like pushing things back down the timeline, gotta live it now. And I'm lagging viciously. Oh, wait. Yeah, we lagging. Hold on one sec. My fault. Yo. Take said he's gonna make of like the image of me eating the camera his save screen. And that is the most horrifying image I think I could ever picture. And like, hey, don't get me wrong. I'm something of a silly guy myself, but like opening up, just seeing the inside, like that'd be horrifying. Like imagine late at night you open up the phone and it's just that. Ooh. But then again, I'm not into vor. I'm not into vor. So maybe I'll do something for some people. Let's see. I'm hungry. Tasty. What is he eating? Is that thing bussing? Let's see. It's not lunchtime yet. Hey, that's my breakfast. You know what though? And this is the thing that's weird for me. I don't eat breakfast or lunch. Is that weird? I think it is weird because like you're supposed to have the three fundamental meals, but for some reason I just don't do it. And not even that I don't have time. Like especially now, I wake up super early to go to the gym. Like I wake up at 4:40 in the morning because my gym opens at 5, and like I do have time after the gym, or I could like eat before, but I don't know. I just like eating dinner and like maybe a snack later. Like I don't know. For some reason, eating multiple meals throughout the day never made sense to me. Like I used to do it back in school, and by school I mean like high school and prior because like we had school lunch. But even then, I don't really eat breakfast unless it's like the weekend. I don't know. It's always been weird to me. I've always been able to go at least like a whole day without eating, and sometimes multiple days. Like and there are times where I've accidentally like starved myself for like over a day and just not realized it because I just don't eat. But hey, I get it. When that hunger calls, you gotta eat. Especially for someone like Nagi, right? Like he has very high muscle density and muscle mass. Like I presume he needs a lot of energy. Let's see. Whoa. Oh. I died. That's it. A nice breeze. There's nothing. No hassle. And like, I mean, I presume, I'm not getting the news out of this. I'm assuming Nagi's gonna have a realization later. But, and it's weird, right? Because I think ultimately, if you were to ask the average man what they want in life, they do want that. They want a life with nothing, no hassle, just being able to live, be happy, put food on the table, put clothes on your back, have a roof over your head. Most people are satisfied by that, and I think I'm people. Like I say, but I'm people. I am very much like, let's not make it complicated. Let's just get it done the way it needs to get done, how it needs to get done. Hold on, yeah, that's better. But even still, I think I'm not fully people like that because I want some thrill. I want some I want to take some risk. I don't know. Like, Billy, your boy's not a gambler, but like, I'm not a gambler in the sense I give my money away. I'm a gambler in the sense of like, oh, that boat's going somewhere. Let me hop on that boat. Oh, you're going on vacation somewhere. I want to know if I'll come. Sure. Let me just see if I can take the time of work. Like, I'm always a person who wants to do, even if there is some hassle, right? I guess, but you know what? It's different for me in comparison to a lot of other people. I've heard some, especially like my friends who've tried recording and posting and like being content creators. Like it takes a lot out of you, especially if you're like me and you do long form videos and it doesn't come naturally to you. It is a bit of a hassle. So ultimately for me, like content creation is a hassle because I love it. I love yapping. if you couldn't tell, so that's different. But like it is those extra things. Like it's not easy to get all your travel documentation and papers and approvals and make sure you have everything ready on the date and make sure you get the plane on time and all that. Like there's stuff that still takes a lot of energy, a lot of hassle, but I'd rather do that than have nothing. I don't know. And I'm not even saying life of stagnation is innately a bad thing. I'm living a life of stagnation ultimately. In like the grand scheme of things, sure, I record, I go to work, I record, I post, I sleep, I wake up, I go to the gym, I go to work, I record, I post. Like it is technically an endless vicious cycle. But I think it's adding those little bits of spice and having that passion, because I have passion behind my work. I have passion behind my content. I have passion behind making sure I don't fall asleep on the road and fall off a cliff. Like I have things that, even if they are hassles are something. Being completely void, nothing. There's, like Nagi says, there's not. That would be. I go crazy. I have to do something. I have to do something, and maybe that's just me. And I think that is just me, because I know a lot of people who are satisfied with that. I don't know. I can't be. Let's see. I don't even think Nagi will anymore. Right, let's see. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. He's having flashbacks where it all began. Where it all began. The trapping on the phone. That's why it's fine. That's not my life anymore. Oh! He's riding the bike that Rare used to ride for. Oh, but... Okay, the tissue, they ain't coming out yet. But and the thing is, but that's the difference. I had something else. Where I can like, okay, time's up with that. Focus my energy somewhere else. Now he doesn't have, like you said, there's nothing. And of course, you get pleasure in video games, stuff like that. Like I've spent unhealthy time on Marvel Rivals. Like I don't know. Admittedly, the one thing I'm proud of me for, I haven't spent a dime, and don't ever plan to spend a dime on that game. But I spent like 200 hours in it already, just doing the same thing, and I'm trash. I am Gorbo. I'm a quick match warrior. I got to gold last season because I wanted the skins, and that was it. And I'm gonna eventually lock in and grind, hopefully on stream, some ranked. But like that's, I'm in bronze 3. Your boys barely touch rank. Whenever I do, I lose. I am booty butt me. But with it being the case, it's not filling enough. I take pleasure in video games, just like Nagi takes pleasure in video games. Like it's something that passes the time and it's done, and I do feel passionate about it. And obviously, I have a completely unhealthy obsession with a certain series made by Tetsuya Nomura. There are 4 Keyblades, 5 Keyblades in that image, and there are others. There are up to 6. Gosh darn it! Why are there 6 Keyblades? I probably kind of because we have Cage 2 also a weapon. You have Oblivion. You have Oathkeeper. You have No Name, or the Gazing Eye. Then you can just barely see 2 become 1 over there. And then the jacked up Kingdom Key is there. And right off camera, there's the real Kingdom Key. And then there's the ultimate weapon from Case 3 there. And I want more. I just don't have room. But with it being the case, Trust me, I get have an obsession with video games, but even then, I can't say Kingdom Hearts fulfills me. It does partially define me, which is very, very bad. People should not be able to make me cry on command by playing Dearly Beloved on piano. That should not be a thing that happens, but it does. But with it being the case, it's not the same, and that's not my life anymore. That is rough, right? Where ultimately you do have to move on in some sense. But at least when I got to, and when many others get to move on from a certain phase in their life, there is a next phase that they're either looking forward to or have thought out. Nagi had nothing before Rayo, and now has nothing again. He had something. He had soccer. He had that passion. Even if it was temporary, even if it was fueled by somebody else, he had something. But now he's just back to nothing, and he's alone again. And like, admittedly, I would definitely say shock horror. I'm actually kind of ambiverted. Like, I am, if you couldn't tell, I love to yap. So I do love to yap in open spaces too. I am very much a yapper. I have and will continue to do. Just randomly walking up to people and be like, hey, I like your shirt. Let's chat for 5 minutes about it, and then I'll never speak to you again. Because I don't, unless someone wants to get in contact with me, I'm very much the person who's like, I'm down to have a cool conversation. We never have to meet. I don't even have to tell you my name. I don't need to know your name. We can just chat about the thing that I identified on you that I think is neat, and I'll walk away. But with that being the case, where was I going with that? That's not my life anymore. Yeah, but the loneliness. I talked about being ambiverted. I'm ambiverted, so ultimately, I do like interacting with people, but I am okay with being alone. And there are even times where I've come to prefer being alone. Not even on like hard days, because obviously, everyone has those days. Even the most extroverted person wants some alone time sometimes. But like even just days where like I haven't spoken to anybody for a while because we're all on break or we're all busy, and I haven't spoken with a friend, played with a friend, done anything. I've always been like, or life is chill, because I always have something to do. Nagi has nothing. He has nothing, and that's nothing hurts. Like it is. But admittedly, while I still don't think it's a good thing, I get why some people engage in negative discourse or stay with people who treat them negatively because it's something. And something, even if it's negative, is always better than nothing, right? Right? It's not. But like, I get why people would delude themselves into being that way, especially considering what we as humans are. We're social creatures. Let's see. Yeah, so cool. Why do y'all have the Aggy eyes? It's because they're tiny. Let's see. Huh? Why is she? Well, I guess this is the top three. I'm gonna say, why is Shido there? But yeah, he's the third highest ranked player. So I guess it does make sense that it's him. Because the only person I ever played Shido with is Baro, but he is technically ranked lower. So I guess yeah, technically for all intents and purposes. Don't I think about it? Now I think PXG and Ubers have the same win rate. Yeah, because Ubers beat No, never mind. No, it doesn't, because Uber's lost to PXG and BM. No doubt. So yeah, I guess technically this does make sense. You have the top three of the best performing teams. You have Isagi number one, because notably, like, as much as I love the rest of BM, even the major characters, Yuki Maya doesn't fit up here. Corona doesn't fit up here. Hiyori doesn't fit up here. No one else from BM would fit up here, because you're not gonna put Kaiser here, obviously. Because let's go to the Blue Lock Japan U20 World Cup. So like, yeah, obviously you're gonna stay with the Blue Lock. And the main issue is, with as much as I love it and as much as I glazed it, the New League League was a Kaiser and Isagi arc. Kaiser's not for the Blue Lock, so it makes sense to have these three up here. So never mind. But darn, that's crazy. I wonder if these are rips from somewhere. Like, I wonder if I were to go back in the chapters, would I see these images? Like, these are just screenshots of the game. But still, regardless, very, very cool image. Top three trio. Once again, the one thing I'll admit, I may make on my that's the beautiful thing about the My Thoughts series. I can kind of just make whatever, because it's just my thoughts, and I don't have to like think infinitely too hard about it. So, and in fact, I do need to record a couple. I'm gonna be a good boy this time. I'm gonna be a good boy. I'm gonna be traveling in about a month, and I always do this. I'm gonna put it on my left big toenail. I don't want to sacrifice my left big toe, but I'm gonna put it on my left big toenail. Someday, before these 30 days pass, I'm going to record a bunch of My Thoughts videos and a bunch of, like, I have tier lists done, I have versus battles I need to record, and then script and edit, and then, like, there's a bunch of stuff I want to have ready. So when I'm gone, it's not like I'm actually gone. But there'll be a week without chapter reviews, and you're all gonna be like, pencil's gone again. So like, but I want to actually have content for y'all. I feel bad whenever I disappear for an extended period of time and just don't have content ready. Like, I feel bad about that, so I gotta fix that. And one of the main things I think of my thoughts video will be made on is the duo of, not these two, you kind of got this, gotta admit, I want to see Shido and Isagi work together. Now I think Isagi has finally become a player worthy of Shido. And them as a duo, especially considering unlike seemingly the common consensus, I think Sei will be part of the Japan U20 World Cup. Seeing that trio work together will go absolutely crazy, because Sei already acknowledged Isagi as like a striker worthy of him and possible or capable of changing Japan. And Shido was also already acknowledged as that. Ren is still 50-50 on the table, but they'll presumably Sei will hit them as well. But specifically, this duo combined with Sei will go absolutely crazy. So actually, I'm excited to see these two work together. My glorious Shido. But it's like, yep, Isagi screaming, man. And like, but it's different for me because like obviously I can't relate to something like this. But notably, when you have nothing like Nagi does here, I bet under normal circumstances he'd be so happy for Isagi. But like, look at this reaction. It's just a straight nothing. It's like I've seen my friends or people I used to know succeed in massive ways, and whenever I see them, I'm like, good job, because I can just look at it like that. We were never really competing in anything or for anything but the love of the game, and we always had things we were doing in our own way, even as we were competing for the love of the game. So as long as we met some sort of success in life, we're always going to be dabbing each other up years later. But this is it. Nagi has nothing, and he's watching. And once again, he's in that chair. I didn't mention it previously, and I don't think I've seen many people, if any people, mention this. But Nagi is currently going through exactly what Baro feared he would. If he had passed that ball again, he passed instinctually once to Isagi and second selection, but he knew for a fact if he passed that ball again, he'd be right there with Nagi. Watching Isagi go on to become a hero, watching Isagi go on to play in the U20 World Cup, watching Isagi succeed in ways that he never could. But Baro, unlike Nagi, was capable of overcoming the fear of failure and drove directly into it. But Nagi, he passed. Just like Isagi passed. Just like Baro passed instinctually. And now he's watching. Watching from the box seat, as Ren would put it, as Isagi goes on to become the best in the world. And that's gotta hurt. It's just like since he had, like, Isagi was one of those people he directly bonded with, right? Like, obviously, Nagi has bonds with other characters from Blue Lock, but next to Reo, Isagi is the character that motivated Nagi the most. And now seeing Isagi just leave him behind, especially with last chapter's context where Isagi was thinking about Nagi, but then was brought to the forefront of his own hypothetical issues, and he was like, can't focus on Nagi anymore. I gotta focus on me. I gotta understand who I am. And understand that this is a position I need to fight for and maintain. Nagi became an afterthought. A background character. Nothing. No, not but a stepping stone to Isagi Yoichi's ascension. And now Nagi, it's hitting him that's it. That's all he was. Let's see. It's fine. Forget it. Oh, man. And that's it. Look at that. They aren't even bothering him anymore. They're talking to each other. And they're just leaving him be. No one even cares. And, that's rough. And like... And this is another like thing with being introverted. I can. What's the longest time I went without like straight communication? Like straight. I think it was back in like college days when I like chose to be like the one resident assistant over winter break, and it was like most people are going home. They're just like me and 3 other students in the entire dormitory, and obviously everyone was home with their families, so I wasn't gonna bother anybody. I think that was like the longest time where it was literally just like me for like 2 weeks. Me, my thoughts. And that was before I was doing content creation. So it was wake up, video game, chill, look around, think. Like that was like the longest time of me and myself. And I'm not saying it was horrific, but it wasn't fun. Because ultimately I do need something. Even as a person who's cool with being alone extensively. And especially, I think what hurts the most is Nagi is alone around other people. Right? Like, and some people may not understand it, but have you ever been in a crowded area and still felt alone? You're surrounded by people. People who are happy, people who are smiling, people who are engaging, people who are living life. but you're the one who's alone. That do hurt. That do hurt. And like sometimes that's just how life is, you know. Like, you just don't know anybody, and you've tried to engage, and people won't engage back. Like there are times like that where life just do be lifing, but those are one-off moments. This is now just Nagi's life. That emptiness, that nothingness. And, ugh. Oh, that hurt, but I still need the tissues just yet. I don't need them just yet. Let's see. All alone in the classroom. Left behind. Not even the teacher cared enough to wake him up. Let's see. Hey, pass! Give it to me! Oh, looking at soccer. I should forget it. Then why? Why am I so sad? Why didn't I? But it, okay, I'm seeing the. If his eyes are watering, I low key feel my tear ducts opening up. But wait a second. That's the thing. That's why y'all are cooking. That's why y'all are cooking. That's why y'all are cooking with gas. Y'all are cooking with gas. And I nearly turned the whole computer off with my little toe, my little left toe. That would have made me show it. But with it being the case, I see y'all cooking, and it's the idea that he really needed that hard wake up. He really needed that hard wake up. Or before he was dreaming. He was dreaming, and he needed to be awake from that dream to realize that. And the only way you can perpetually live a dream is if you make it reality. I once had a dream, and it still is my dream, to yap and yap and yap and yap and yap and reach people and help people in the way that people have helped me. And like notably, I think of, because I think even back in my younger days, I commented occasionally on videos. I wasn't really like a big time commenter or anything like that. But there are many content creators I can think of off the top of my head who I haven't seen post a video in years or haven't watched in a while, who got me through things. Or like, we're just there. We're just like a voice. They'll never know who I am. I'll never expect them to. But they were there. And they helped me in a way they never understood. And as much as I've become a content creator because I love yapping, and this is a free outlet to yap, and you know, it helps in many different ways with that outlet. The times where, admittedly, like the one time I ever felt like just like giving up. It's looking through the comments and like seeing, hey, you helped me with something. Hey, you helped me get through a rough time. Hey, I love your content. Even if I haven't reached 1 million people, even if I don't have the biggest following out there, even if, despite being at now 18K, your boy struggles to hit 2,000 views. In fact, I literally never do at this point. It's the idea that someone cares enough. People care enough that they want to know my opinion. They want to engage with me. And the fact that I've helped people and make their day, like that touches my heart. That touches my heart. And that's the dream. But ultimately, like I mentioned with Nagi and his dream, it's a dream that'll stop the second I do. You know? If I stop posting, sure, people may comment on old videos, but it doesn't happen all too often. If I stop engaging, then there will be no engagement back. It is a continuous cycle. And ultimately, that's what's motivated me to try so hard. And admittedly, there are times where I've gone super duper hard, then dropped, and then softened out and rounded out. Like right now, I went back to 1 video a day. I used to drop 2. But there were a couple reasons behind that. 1, because it was kind of just insane. And 2, because some of the videos I was covering, even if I liked it, it just wasn't really worth it. And I didn't really like overwhelming people with content. And there's some people who are still like, man, Pencil, I can't watch every single video a day. And I feel bad for people like that. And I get that. So I edited and altered my course, but I'm still thinking. And there are things I plan to do. Like I mentioned in the post from a while ago. Channel Mitosis is about to happen. Like, this will probably eventually just end up being on my thoughts and review channel. I'm planning to make a probably exclusive versus battle channel. I'm planning to make a probably exclusive live reaction channel. Because I still want to yap more. There's still videos I want to react to. There's still versions I want to make. But ultimately, just the style of what the channel has become, I don't think it fits that. And that technically is more work. That's a dream evolving and branching off of itself. Heck, the other platform I'm on, TikTok, which has like 140-something thousand. That's an entirely different world branched off of that dream. But once again, like this dream, it takes that effort. It takes that continuous motion. It takes that need to try harder and harder and move forward farther and farther. And Nagi didn't have that. So he woke up from the dream. But now that he's awake, he sees just how sad and lonely reality is, and he wants to go back. Even if he doesn't understand it right now. He doesn't know why he's sad. And he doesn't know why he didn't try harder. It's because he was dreaming. It's because he was dreaming. He didn't want to wake up from it. Let's see. This fire, this excitement, this moment, they won't ever come back. It's true, but that's why you gotta chase new ones, man. You gotta keep, and then that's I think it is the blessing and the curse of life, really. The idea that time passes, that connections fade, that moments become no more than memory, even if they are recorded. They cannot be re-experienced. That's not something that you can do. You can never do something for the first time ever again. You must always keep advancing because there is no going back. Well, that is a curse. I think that's also a blessing. Ultimately, you have the past version of you to compare yourself to, and you have the past version of yourself to evolve from, to grow from, or even stay in line with. You can always keep pushing forward, as long as you're still alive, and that's the blessing and the curse of life. Let's see. It was all new to me, so I didn't realize. I love that. All the major players of the major teams, all their interactions with Nagi. Let's see. Except for Bachira. Unfortunately, no Bachira mentioned here, but still, that's fine. It's not okay. It's too late. I can't go back. Okay, wait a minute, wait. Don't burst into tears, bro. No, please. I got the tissues ready, but I ain't trying to do it on camera, game, please. Blue Lock. It was so fun. Oh, never forget it. I ain't crying. I ain't gonna do it. But yeah. And like I have these moments. Like, just say, like, once again, as I get older, as my knees snap, crackle, and pop, gosh darn it, as I feel my stamina fade and stuff like that, as I get older, I do look back to the times, and I reference it all the time, like the days of track and field, or the days of high school, or the days of college, and like there are definitely moments that I appreciate and would love to relive. But I think the difference between me and Nagi is that I didn't just leave those institutions because I was pushed out of them due to the passage of time, but also I left them satisfied. There are things that maybe I'd go back and do different, but ultimately, in the macro sense, I was happy. I was joyous. So now I look back on those memories, and I'll say I'll never forget it, but in the sense of I'm happy with what I did and the impact that it's had on me and what it's done for me as a person. Like, I think of a lot of my biggest mistakes in life, and I don't think I'd go back and undo them because they're a big reason why I am who I am. And if I were to undo even a single mistake early on in my life or later on, then I think I wouldn't be me. If that makes any sense to some people. But Nagi, since there was not, like, Nagi Sesshoto basically wasn't alive before Blue Lock. So at the end of it, he's dead. A dead man walking. I always call him the God of Death because of his skull ego aura. But now the God of Death has fallen to what he was the master of. The life ripped out of him and replaced with an emptiness and a stillness only comparable to death. Let's see. I want to go back. I want to go back. I didn't know anything. I should have just chased after them. Get fired up. I want to come back. To that me. But I can't. I still ain't gonna cry though. I got the tissues. I was prepared. I was ready. I got the tissues right here. But I ain't gonna cry. But man, that's rough. But once again, the parallels are hitting. The parallels are hitting that hard. In fact, the bike is honestly a parallel too. The bike is a parallel. And seeing the he gonna be back. But like, But back so soon? I think so. I think we undo it. I think we undo it immediately. This is so great. Man, y'all got me, and now the parallels are getting me, and now the metadata, it's getting me, man. A genius overflowed by emotions for the first time. The thoughts conveyed by the flowing tears don't reach his past self. To be continued, Blue Lock, Japan. Sorry, I didn't wait for the officials because I saw it, and I was scared I was going to get spoiled eventually if I didn't immediately review it, so here we are with the Ride Rack Scanlation. Oh, I didn't hope nothing too major got mistranslated, but there actually wasn't much talking in this chapter. It was a lot of basic conveyance of emotions with minor word use, but still, man, that does hurt. So bring it back. Undo it. Forget it. Narrative consequence by foot. It's a soccer manga. Undo it. Why not? And once again, there are ways in universe where this can still wake him up from the dream. And he can go back to dreaming again, but this time with intent. This time with purpose. And it will make sense, and it will not hamper the narrative. Especially with all these parallels, man. Like, once again, as cool as it would be for Nagi's journey to end the same way Isagi's began, Blue Lock is a story of second chances. Chance after chance after chance. From Isagi to Chihiri to Baro to Bachiro to Rin. Heck, even Seigen is like all those characters. Some of my glorious kingship. All these characters have gotten a second chance here or there. So ultimately, why not give Nagi one? So, alright. If you've been all the way to the end of this video, I want to thank you so much for watching. Please leave stillness and sorrow. Stillness and sorrow in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you hit that little case post you out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I'm going to have a Patreon down below where you can support me for as old. Ow! Ow! You can support me for as old as $1 a month to get things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. You can now become a member of the channel for as old as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Those perks include the live reactions, so you have the series item to review, I have variations of my videos, and if you become a $20 patron or a $20 member, you can order whatever video you want. Now, Also, I would like to my co-find the below. You can drop 5 views for a short video, 20 beats all video, or any beats at all. Any support is always greatly appreciated. Now, I'd like to thank you so much for watching. Once again, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Got the Pencil, writing off. I'd like to thank you to our sketch tier members: Eternal Flame, Red Wolf 4765, Astro, Super Flame Zero, Glacier XZ, Zara, Brandon Payne, J2MA, Gyomi, Yuki Ally, Buddha Uda, Azo 2404, Planet Crone, G Prosper, Nevis 97, and Ollie. I'd like to give a big old thank you to our line art tier patrons: Sean, Nirvana Igneel, Midnight Lord 21, Kevin Encarnacion, and A+A. And I'd like to give a big old thank you to our Inc. tier members: Fine, Austin Wimberly, Euchia, Carlo Alaimo, and Grim. And then I'd like to give a big old hefty thank you to our digital art tier members: Jay Warrior and AZ Void. And then I'd like to give a big old thank you to our colored art tier patrons: Waki Munoz and Waki Munoz. And then I'd finally like to give a giga super duper kidney sacrificing thank you to our ultimate that guy with a heart on the horizon, Calvin Elder.